Okay, I'm going to try to do a video before the maintenance guys get over there, start building this house, and before the wind starts. It's early morning, and wow, lovely morning. Just cool air, cool breeze. This is what I love about Thailand when it's cool sometimes. It's not very often. Anyway, so the video today is about where is the safest place in Thailand to live. It's not Bangkok. It's not Koh Samui. It's not Phang Koh Tao. The islands. It's not the islands. It's not Phuket. Is it Krabi? It's real hard to say, right? So your initial idea is that when you ask yourself that question, if you lived here for a long time, you might say the safest place is a small town in the Northeast where there's very few people, crime is low to start with, right? Thing is, in any area where foreigners come to live, people see it. People start to get ideas in their head about how can we get the foreigners money. And listen, it's not because we're in Thailand. It would happen in Philippines, Indonesia, Cambodia, Burma, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, USA. It would happen in Miami, anywhere. It would happen anywhere. So that's the real problem, is that certain people, certain degenerates will look at that as opportunity, right? So the good thing is that violent crime is not a big thing here. Yes, there's violent crime between Thais. Thais will solve a problem with a gun to somebody's head, shoot them in public. Happens often. I don't know how often it happens. I don't watch the news like that anymore. It was worse when they have the newspapers, the big paper newspapers, right? And you'd see like front page every day would be like 3-4 people like laying in puddles of blood because someone shot them because they were angry. Someone was jealous. Usually someone is eating at a restaurant or at a club or something and has an argument with somebody, comes back and kills a bunch of people. So violent crime like that happens, Thai on Thai. To be honest, except in Pattaya, violent crime on foreigners doesn't happen all that much at all. It's rare to hear it. Now, if you would have asked me this question 11 years ago, I think it was 11, I would have said probably someplace like Surin, Royet, Surin, Sisaket, someplace like that, would seem like super safe. And, 99.9999% of the time it is. Unfortunately, Surin had a case. One time over the news, Surin, the city of Surin, the area, the province, had a case where a foreigner was riding the motorbike and Thais pulled up behind him. This is at night. And they didn't just get him with this, which would be bad enough, right? K-bar. No, they got him with this. Some kind of like machete, right? They hacked his arm, like they swung from the motorbike, hacked his arm here. And did he lose his arm or did he almost lose his arm? This is 10 years ago, so I can't recall. But, pretty horrible situation. But these kind of things happen. One on one, yeah, usually two, 3-on-1, attack somebody on a motorbike to rob them, to take the motorbike sometimes. Happened to a girl, where was that? That was in Angtong when I was just up there. happened to a girl. She riding the motorbike, two Thais pull up behind her. She didn't feel good about it. She knew something was wrong. They kick her her handlebar, and so that jerks the whole wheel that way, and then she flipped over. So she got hurt, and these things where it's usually teens or people in their low 20s or people on drugs or whatever, will attack single people on motorbikes. Doesn't matter if you're a guy either. Happened in Anong. Happens kind of frequently in Krabi. I wouldn't say Krabi is the safest place. Lady had her thumb hacked off by a knife too. Like she was trying to hold on to her purse, like the strap, and they were trying to cut the strap, I guess, but hacked off her thumb. I mean, yeah, tourist areas are not the safest. I don't know what the safest area is, to be honest. I would still say someplace like Phuket. But then with COVID, and you have a lot of, well, COVID didn't really affect them that much. But a lot of people went home to Phuket, to the small areas, because they left Phuket and stuff to go home to save money, because can't live in Phuket. It's expensive anyway, even for Thais. Yeah, so maybe there's a lot of really poor people now in Phuket. It's quite hard to say. Thailand is safe enough that you have to just play the odds. It's really all you can do. If there's even one or two people in the whole city that knows who you are, that has an idea in their head, how do we get the foreigner's money or some of what the foreigner has? How do we get revenge on the foreigner? Maybe you're sleeping with somebody that they used to sleep with, and maybe they haven't given up yet. Maybe the stories are endless. What could possibly happen as far as revenge, on somebody? Thais are bad with revenge. It comes from nowhere. You won't even know it's coming. That's why, if you're riding down the road on a motorbike and you pull up behind a Thai is looking in the mirror many times to see, like, who is that? Do I have to fear that person? And I think a lot of it is retribution. They fear the whack on the side of the head from whatever, from a machete or from a club or something. Thailand is generally so safe that I don't think about it. We lock our doors, we lock our windows. Break-ins like that don't happen, really. If they happen, they're non-confrontational. They'll come in when you're not there, and then get out real quick. They'll come in the middle of the night, like 2-3 a.m., grab something and get out, usually a phone or something. Even if you're in the room, they'll just grab the phone and get out. That happens a lot, and especially tourist areas. How can you stay safer in Thailand? Because all you can really do is just be as safe as you can, right? And as I said, it happens in America, happens in Russia, happens anywhere. Crime happens, violence happens. Thailand is one of the safest places in the world, I think, for foreigners. If you're doing the right thing, if you're taking care of yourself, if you're not providing opportunities for people to take advantage of you. So that means getting drunk at night, riding by yourself on the motorbike at night. Cars are really quite safe, riding by yourself in cars. I haven't heard of like carjacking or somebody being run off the road by a truck, to smash your car up and then grab whatever you have or rob you. Never heard of that, I don't think. So if you have a bigger vehicle, you're better off. It's the same thing, like I say, I've probably said it in 50 videos of mine out of 500, that if you're getting drunk and it's late, even if it's not late, if you're getting drunk, I was going to say at night, it doesn't have to be at night. If you're getting drunk, you're putting yourself at risk because people see it and people start to think, now it's 20 to 80% easier to take advantage of this foreigner than it was before. Now I can really get him or her. So I would say go out with groups. It's one way to make yourself safer. You're going to get drunk anyway, right? Might as well do it with a group of people that you know. Please don't discount the idea that foreigners can be dangerous as well, especially foreigners that you don't know or that you know very surface level. You don't really know them, but you go out, you're hanging out with a bunch of people you sort of know, and then it can turn bad. I'm saying that mostly for girls. And then the other thing, as far as safety, one thing that I didn't mention at all is driving. So driving in any tourist area is more dangerous. You have more people on drugs. You have more people stressed from traffic. And you have more idiots that just do whatever the hell they want. So in Isan, where was I? Ubon Ratchathani, we were out one night, 5 of us in a truck, in a SUV, I think it was. And we pull up to a light that's green, and we look. The guy who's driving is looking both ways. It's like 2 a.m, 12 at midnight. I don't remember really. It's pretty late at night, and but there's cars everywhere. Like the clubs had just let out, so it must have been about 2. And we pull up to a green light, and he's looking this way, and then this huge SUV, black one, just flies through the red light. I mean, everybody would have died. I mean, it was going 120 in town. Everybody would have died. We didn't go that way to see what happened, but if they crashed, I wouldn't be at all surprised. So there's people like that. There's people like that everywhere. Drugs like crystal meth, but when you mix crystal meth with other things, can make you really crazy. Crystal meth just speeds you up, right? It makes you antsy and nervous. You can see it in the taxi drivers. You can see it in the tuk-tuk drivers. They're like paranoid too, like looking behind them, like looking in the mirror, looking at themselves, twitching like this. Everything's like jerky movements like this. You could tell when they're on meth, right? But when you mix it with other drugs, it can be quite crazy. can be quite a bit worse. But there's people like that all over the country. Happens in Surin, happens in Sisaket. I've seen people on drugs out there for sure. Because there's nothing to do out there. The kids, the teens are all on drugs, because it's something to do. It's just like in America. People are drinking, when they're 14. I think I drank when I was 13, 14, 13, something like that. All right, I hope that helps. There's no real 100% safe place in the country, but you're doing pretty damn well if you're anywhere in the country, versus some other places. I think in order of dangerousness, I would say the islands are the most dangerous. Maybe you wouldn't think that. Bangkok, because it's so big and there's people everywhere all the time, I would say is not as dangerous as the islands. I would say Pattaya is probably the worst. Phuket, Patong Beach would be next, but it's pretty far away from. Like, I have the idea that Pattaya is the absolute worst by far, and then Patong Beach, Phuket area. Well, Phuket has, man, the beaches that surround Phuket, like Kamala, Kata, mostly like Kamala. No, mostly Kata and that way, down the other end of the side of the island. Oh, because all the poor Thais live there, and the boys on the motorbikes, the knocking people off motorbikes and stuff. Oh, it's pretty bad over there. Yeah, I'd say Patong. I would say Phuket, the island, is next. I haven't been to Koh Chang. I've been to Samui. Samui's pretty damn bad, I would say. I would say Samui maybe next. I guess then maybe Bangkok, then maybe Chiang Mai, something like that. just guesses, right? All right. Hope that helps somebody. Cheers.